So here is the area that I am working on in today's video. It's along with the pie safe and then this whole wall of windows. So of course I needed to unpack all of these boxes so I can get to the windows and to the pie safe. So yes, it's now onto the pie safe. Now with the pie safe, because of copper and the metal, I want to put something like the whites to pop out so you can see them. So, and then the shelving is not tall because it's pie safe. It was made for pies. The shelving is not tall, so I think I have an idea, like plates, platters, some of my mini pitcher creamers. Yeah, and then if you notice, they're not all matching. They're all irregular sizes. So, and then I have something else for the top. Since I have a blank palette, it's so much fun to decorate. Just takes me all day, days, because I'm always tweaking it. So next to the pie safe is some long 4 windows. 4 windows right in a row. They go to almost all the way to the floor. But I didn't want to fill this empty space in. We have an island in the kitchen. It's a nice walk-through area. But when you're sitting in the living room, I wanted to be able to see this lovely pie safe. And I know the original homeowner had their long table in this area. But with the bar stools and the island and the pie safe and the windows, I just thought it was a little too much. So we're gonna put our table in the other room where you saw the ladder whenever Chris gets finished making the table. That it's in the process. But yes, nobody said their table has to be right next to your island by any means. But I like, the thing that attracted us to this house was the open concept, was the open space. So I don't want to fill it all up. So, but with that being said, I still have some Crocs that I couldn't fit on top of the cabinets, or I would have been like cramming them all in. So Chris had a wonderful idea of a long bench underneath these windows. And though we passed up many on auctions because you didn't really see any resale, of course you're like, oh, I wish I would have, yeah, I remember that one from that auction. But anyway, we do have something, but it needs a paint job. So we're going to go ahead and get that painted first. So while that paint's drying, I can work on the decor in the pie safe. So we use this bench in our garage, but we have another plan for it. Chris actually had the plan for a long bench in our new house. So I'm gonna see how much I can clean it up and get it to look, I still like the black, but let's see if we can get it to age and not look like a garage bench. Okay, so we have it up on the bench now. So back in the day, Chris made these for the kids to sit on during the 4-H parade days on a hay wagon. So these were just benches that were made that way, that were 2, and then in our garage he put the 2 of them together. So it's been in our garage for decades now, but he needs to do something to make it so, if you've noticed, there's kind of a sway going on here. So he's going to come up with a piece of wood to put those together so that the feet aren't separated. So these were 2 benches made into 1. Okay, so instead of putting a block of wood to attach them together, we do have 2 older hinges. So if he clamps the 2 pieces together before he puts them on, but I like that patina of it, so I'm going to go ahead and get this sanded first and see how this cleans up to see if I'm going to need to paint it or not. So we'll see. was sanding on it, I'm finding lots of staples. I know that banners and names and all that had been stapled onto these benches. So where I'm going to go through and try to find all those staples that were left behind. All the staples from whatever we stapled on it back in the day.
Yeah. Did you get something to pull up?
Yeah, I got that's why I needed the screwdriver. I don't know where the staple pulling tool is. It's somewhere in here. Somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and paint it. I know this was really cheap paint that we used for each day. It's probably whatever gallons of paint you could, yeah, the cheapest on the shelf. So I'm gonna do the Sweet Pickins lantern. Ooh, let's see how this works. And it's already black and I'm gonna distress it, so, you know, but I'm putting it in my new house, so I want it to look nice. Even if I was reselling it, I still want it to look nice. I know it's, you know, 4x4 lumber, but I don't care. You know, we have a purpose of what we want to use it for, so equal parts. And I've been doing a little extra water only because I feel like I'm not having to really work so hard putting it on. So warm water. Like I'll do half a scoop extra. Need to get a spoon before I put that in there, or the powder will mix the wet in first. It's kind of like making pumpkin rolls or anything with flour, and it's like poof, it's all in your face. So I'm not really looking for any crackle on this piece, especially since it's pine. It's probably just going to soak it in. The really cheap paint underneath it. I'm just using the heat gun actually to speed the process along and to dry it. So I need to seal my milk paint in. I love how it distressed just a little, nothing crazy, no chippiness. That's perfectly fine. But to seal it in, I'm just going to go in with Jolie's black wax. Black is on black. That way you don't get that white residue from a white natural wax that sometimes happens. Yet again, I really want to try out some hemp oil. I have a little bottle of hemp oil that I'm going to be using here later in the video on something else, but I don't think it would have been enough to do this whole bench. So if he clamps it together, that's going to get that gap.
It also levels out.
And then it'll level out that top a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I think those are a fun accent. Not sure what Chris thinks. I think so.
I think you're correct.
I know we could have put a chunk of wood, but why not use some of the salvage pieces we have? See, this one has quite the gap and then quite the buckle, but wait till you see him clamp it together. Now look how straight that is. What?
So I'm trying to leave them low enough on here too so you can see them, because Yvonne really likes them to be seen.
Yeah. Why waste all that time?
Did that go crooked then? Yeah.
Oops. All of a sudden I saw Chris play with this button on the top of it, and we've had this Ryobi grill for a long time. Now explain to them why you switched it.
So when you are screwing in screws, you want it on a 1, and you can actually change the speed or the tension also on it. So if you go all the way down to the lowest setting, it only torques so much. But the reason why I switched to a 1 is because it's a slower drive than a 2. 2 is made for when you're drilling into wood or something with a drill bit.
I did not know that, y'all. I'm like, why are you playing with, what is that thing? I left it on the same for each of them. Always learning.
It's on a 2.
Oh.
So if I switch it back to a 1, that one wasn't that good. Let's try one that.
So there it is. That's what I wanted. Keep this space open. When Chris builds a table, it's going in where the resin table is. But yeah, Chris had a great idea about a long bench and finding one at an auction, but we had this one in the garage, and unless we find something long again at an auction, we will use this one for right now. I love that black lantern. I always love the way that the milk paint, I just love the way it feels after it's finished with that wax on top of it. But yes, then I've got an idea from some decor to put on it. But I feel like we should pop back over to the pie safe, because I know you all are curious on how I'm going to style this up. Other than cleaning it, all those stains are just staying. It is character, but look at how fun the white pictures on this wood. The white pictures will pop through. You'll be able to see them through that copper wiring. Oh my goodness. Now the hardest part with this one is finding items that are short enough because of how short the shelving is. I love this shape. This is like my favorite shape. Yeah. Yeah, we all kind of like what we like. I can't say that every single one of these is ironstone itself, but they're just that shape of little white pitcher that I absolutely love. It does not always have to be ironstone when you love something. It doesn't have to be a brand name. There we go. It doesn't have to be a brand name when you love something. So just to give you a heads up, I have 3 hutches that I am styling in our house. So I honestly did all 3 of them at the same time over a 3-day period. So stole here from here, stole here from here. So this is that little rack that you saw in the previous video in our Frankenstein hutch, I call it, that I got all these little plates on. I thought I was going to put it in there, but it was too tall. It was too tall for this cupboard. So that was the nice thing about having 3 different hutches, is I'm able to kind of intermix, change them out. Like this a little bit more in here, like that a little bit more in there. I need more white, I need more blue, you know. But yeah, so just because you're seeing pieces, you're like, hey, isn't that in your other hutch? Well, that would be why. You just gotta love a good plate stack. You know, those chippy treasures that others might not eat off just make beautiful display. They don't have to be all the same size, or they can be all the same size. It doesn't really matter. I didn't really know that I had as many pieces as I had. So yeah, some of you all are going to benefit off me selling items on eBay. Yeah, so hopefully, and I listed them before I even aired this video because I am working on a garage sale at the time of doing all this too. Like I just had to get rid of all the extra clutter in our house when I was deciding what I was going to keep for my decor, what I was going to keep for inventory. The year, it just seems like summer ends up being my year end inventory control. But I love to flip a bowl upside down and then put a bigger bowl on the top of it, kind of use a bowl as a riser. That way you still see that beautiful ironstone piece, and they may be chipped, they may be cracked. I'm sure I have other pieces. I have pieces that are good, but then I also have pieces that are chipped or cracked, and it's a great way to kind of hide that. Really just working on those white pieces right now, trying to figure out what fits in this cupboard. You know, that was my main on the other cupboard, to get the white in there first and then fill in. So on the bottom shelf here, it's a little bit on the taller side. So I'm gonna do some of my rusty crusty scales, some of my faves. So yes, they are tall enough to fit in there. I'm so excited. They're so old, they're so rusty crusty, and I love every one of them. Oh, I think that's so cute. Just the story they could tell. I know, they're not everybody's taste, but I love them. I don't even care that this one doesn't have a face. I like the rusty crustiness of it. This one's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit bigger. Yay! Rusty crusty scales. So still working on, you know, I'll change it 101 times probably before I decide I love it, and then I'll buy a new piece and then change it again. Oh, would you look at this piece? Does anybody remember the auction that I picked this salvage piece up off the ground at an auction and got it for $1? I don't even know what, 4 foot, 3 foot, I don't know, 5 foot, 6, I don't know. I have no idea how long it is. But we're going to put it as an accent because, you know, I have really white walls, tender cloud walls. Chris needs to fix a little bit here and there on it. But first off, I need to give it a bath. Is it just not gorgeous? And he found the perfect spot for it. Just a nice little detailed piece, y'all. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a bath. ho, 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 look at that pretty underneath. Don't care that there's brokenness. Does not matter to me. Some top coat chipping. Don't care about that. Oh, look at that beautiful wood. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Are you taking them out or putting them in?
You might nail that.
That one. Does it go all the way through?
Coming through the backside.
Oh, yep. Can't have those coming through the backside. There's a couple little ones on the side here. Not gonna mess with that because that just worked.
Well, I might take a nail and just. That seems to be
It's
helpful.
pretty. It's just board.
Is there anything on the other side?
There is. There's one more right here. Nothing like cleaning it off and being able to find them. My rag is caught. Why?
Ready? The other side's coming up.
I like the look of it when it was wet, but when it dried, it got, you know. So I have a sample of the oil wax from Sweet Pickins. I've never used this before, but I love the milk paint, so I can't imagine that I wouldn't love this. So this is a great project to try it out on. I just think the wood is really dry from being outside, so it probably does need a drink.
This was at one auction that we got that at, that it was sitting actually outside. It was towards winter.
I picked it off the ground for $1. I'm like, nobody's here, y'all moved on. Chris won't let me get the cabinet. Remember? The other lady from Allen got it. Gave me eyeballs. Oh yeah, that's really rich in the top.
She might have to do a voiceover on this one.
I tell you, I don't get everything from auctions that I want. Because you want it doesn't mean you get it. Okay, so it's still kind of a hot mess in here, but that's just how it goes. I'm packing, figuring out where all the decor is going, so that we're day two of decorating. But now we're going into the wall decor, some of it anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna decide where I think things would look pretty, and hopefully they do, and I don't have to patch a hole. Have you all done that? Having to patch a hole because you didn't like where it was? So, yep, so you get a sneak peek of some decor. But I think I'm gonna have Chris put a window, I believe this window I got from Kelly, a viewer, so yeah, well, I like that window. So I think that it's the perfect size. Not the same patina, but they don't have to match because it matches the Crocs, it matches other things than the piece itself. Drywall anchor. Windows are heavy, not in a stud. here's that big salvage piece. Oh, that. So 20 minutes, you're supposed to wait and then wipe off the excess. That color is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it goes with the black, goes with the pie safe.
It's really popping on the white.
And then wait till you see where we're going to put it. Right there, there's a little bit of lip in this little area, and then Chris thought he wanted to put something else up there. I have a salvage piece, but oh, will that not be beautiful? Because it is long. Long. How long is it?
8 foot 11 inches.
Oh, my measurement was way off. I said 3 to 6. So 3 to 6. I have to get on the ladder?
Well, I can reach it from the floor. You can't.
Oh, he's true. He's right. I can't reach it.
So.
You know where center is.
I marked center on here if I turn it back.
All the way up, or
I'm leaving that much on the bottom.
okay. Well, then I think I'm leaving that much on the bottom.
Then I'll put a couple of screws in just to play it safe.
So it's a wood. We think it's a big piece of wood behind there because the stud finder liked it real well. So, is that not gorgeous? It's not super heavy, but
No.
it is long, so. So you saw Chris put the window up. I love that hue of kind of faded, almost war type of wood. Just a beautiful color. So I have 3 different crock bowls. This one actually is, I believe, cracked, but doesn't matter because you turn it to its side. I said some of them are perfectly imperfect, some are just perfectly aged. I love that little trio together. And then I recently, I bought the Swan for y'all to bid on eBay, and then I fell in love with it. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody had it in the retail booth where our retail booths are, and I'm like, that is such a steal. I cannot, because she felt as if because it was chippy and that it had that crack that she had to give it away. But I love the imperfections. So sorry y'all. And then I did have this actually in my retail booth. Nothing like shopping your retail booth, right, y'all? That I had picked up, but I needed height. I needed a box or something to lift the Swan up. So there you go. It was still in there. It does not have to sit, as you can see, the tail is kind of hanging off there. It did not have to be an excellent fit, but oh, I love, sorry y'all. I'll find you lots of other Swans to bid on eBay. So decorating inside the pie safe, like I said, this was a series of at least 3 days, if not into a 4th day, of living with it. Like, do I love it? Do I want to exchange this piece for another piece in another cabinet? There's that. So, yeah, don't just think that I just slapped everything together in an hour and I'm like, yep, beautiful, call it good, close it. No, I actually left the doors open on most of them for a series for 3 days. I have 3 hutches. I had a lot of decor. I had a lot of littles that I just absolutely love, a lot of collections that I love. So, yeah, I wanted them to all fit. So, yeah, let me share with you what's inside of this pie safe. But again, we'll start off right with the top. I love my platter stack. And then I have this little, I think it's like a relish, like, you know, olives, pickles, whatever little container. Look at that age on that beauty. Oh my goodness. It is an ironstone piece. They all are. But it makes a nice stack, and this one's the shortest space. Now, I have vintage cow tags that I picked up last summer at an estate sale, y'all. So, and then I wanted to show them. I'd always had them laying down on a shelf. And then when I got it to fit in the flower frog, I'm like, oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. Y'all pop over to eBay if you want any. I have a few up for sale on eBay. I only kept a few, but I had quite a few. I had enough to share with you all to purchase if anybody's interested. They are two-sided black lettering, solid brass, very old cow tags. And then I have my Bible stack, my little bitty vintage Bible stack with some salvage wood to pop the Bibles back. This is actually just a plastic bottom flower frog. It does not have to be anything fancy at all, y'all, but I love that tag in that. It's awesome. So now I have just some odds and ends. I flipped this bowl upside down to give it some more height. So it kind of coordinated with the other one, put a bowl on top of it. My plates are not even close to completely matching, but that's okay. It's that perfectly imperfect. This is one of Chris's favorite pieces. It's an ice pick, and it has some writing on it. But what he loves is the phone number, y'all. It's a 4-digit phone number. So see what I mean? It's just those little treasures that you want to save because the story they tell. How long has it been since we had a 4-digit phone number? And so I have another couple ironstone bowls stacked, one flipped, one on top for some height, some toothpick holder creamer. Yeah, they're like restaurant ware. They're not ironstone. They're like a restaurant ware, heavy stoneware. And then these are just those reamers that probably came out of something, but I picked them up for minimal because they're white. You know, I have that love of white, my passion of white. So now we'll go down a shelf. I did keep a trio of the little pictures. I love it. These are actually just some paper numbers that I had picked up. I love the color, the patina, a flower frog. I didn't have anything to stick in there, but that's that pop of metal. So I have a really old rusty egg scale, a little postal scale. Look at the square butter pats that I found. And then a broken down scale. It doesn't matter. It's broken. It doesn't mean it has to go to the trash by any means, but that made a nice little pop there. So we'll go over next door. I've got some smaller spools with some metal on them. And then we have a stack of little ironstone plates, an ironstone container that didn't have a lid, so that's perfect for those little berries. Now you think, no, this has its butter mold in it. This was just randomly at a sale, and I knew what it was. It was a piece of a butter mold, so I picked it up. And then we have coordinating. See, I said I love those little pictures like that. And I think this one is ironstone, but I know not. Okay, I know some of them are not ironstone. Yeah, see, they're not all ironstone. But yeah, so you got the pop of wood. You got those the size of the pitchers that make that shelf flow. You got the platters and plates that make that shelf flow. And then I have some fun little soup terrain type of pieces. Maybe that was a candy dish. I don't know. I had this clock forever. I think I actually picked it up at a Goodwill. I use a little wooden spool because If not, it sits back too far, so the wooden spool, I just, you know, you just tuck things so it sits up. But I love the color. It doesn't work. It says General Electric on it. It's just a cool old clock. And this was too high if I put the lid up, so I put the lid down. It worked. But I love the patina. I love, not the patina, but the detail of this piece. Look at all that beautiful detail. I don't find a lot of ironstone with detail like that, so I thought that was really unique, because like, as you see, these little soup turades, this one has a little bit on the handle, and that one's pretty plain, but they're ironstone. They are so different depending on the maker. So then we have another little old box I put to its side. I love the old writing, which then goes with the ice pick. And then I have a half a spool that I put some berries in, and then we got a salvage piece behind that. And then we'll go down a shelf, and I'm going to sit on the floor because I'm leaning over too much. So I got another bowl stack. Like I said, some of mine are chipped. It does not matter. I could turn that, then you don't even see it. You know, it doesn't always have to be perfect. Then I had another flower frog with another one of the brass. See, look at that patina, y'all. Oh my gosh. And they were washed up. That's just what the patina is. So I put a crock in it, and I have like some salvaged feet off of something that there's only 3 of them. And they're really kind of broken up. And then I put some different tones of wood just to make it pop. Then I have that big ironstone bowl. And the nice thing is I can use some of these pieces if I'm having a dinner. So to go with those pieces of 3, I have some spool pieces, same patina color, in another bowl. So these were just a couple of the square ironstone bowls stacked on top. So you had height, and then a couple little boxes. I don't even know what went in them. I probably have them backwards. I think they're supposed to go. I think they're supposed to go this way. I think the writing is supposed to go that way. Anyway, but that color matches this color, and then another little fancy container, and then a couple more spools, and then we'll finish it off with my rusty crusty scales. Now these were always on the fence if these were telegraphed or some type of circuit, I don't know, but I have 4 of them, and I just think they are cool industrial pieces that I picked up, so I just kind of tucked them in there. And then 3 more of the rusty crusty scales, and I had a couple on eBay forever. I took the 2 off because they didn't sell, and I used them in my own decor. I tell you, you know, this is a nice thing about being able to shop your own retail. And can you see it through that copper wiring? If you were wondering, yes, you can. Maybe not some of the rusty crusty and necessarily the brown wood pieces, but you can see all that pop of white. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Oh, and then I have my at the hoarder's house pick. It was a butter churn that was completely cracked, but I don't care. It's beautiful. See, that wood of the butter churn part matches the wood up there. So see how it all just kind of flows together. And then we had to push this hutch all the way to the side because of the light switches. But it's fine. It's fine. That's why I didn't want to crowd that space with a table. So now let's check out the bench. I told you. So my plan was to put these all the way across the top, but as soon as I started doing that, Peach, our kitty cat, loved the windows, loved the bench being there. Was pretty sure that we set the bench there for him. So I just put them underneath. So some of them have the stamping, the wording. Some of them do not, but I cannot believe I had enough to go all the way across. Oh, I need to fix this one. I'm sure Peach went for a toy behind there. But yeah, so there's an idea. Actually, I like it that there's a few on top and then a few on the bottom. I think it's really, really fun. A lot of these, like I share with you, that one's cracked, that one's not. That one's cracked, and that one's not. And that's, so some of them are, some of them aren't. you know, does it matter? No. Do I love them? Yes. And then our board piece, which is really hard because the lighting kind of throws this off. Now Chris would like to find a little bitty small mouse. Oh, there's our beautiful bells again if you want to hear them. To sit on the top of that. We have a couple, but he thought it would be so cute of them looking down. So I'm on the hunt. The fun is the hunt, right, y'all? The fun is the hunt, too. So the fun is the hunt. So I love that idea that, you know I get to choose a lot of the decor, and I love the idea that Chris wanted that salvage piece there, and that he's like, hey, we need a little mouse or something. But so the fun is the hunt, y'all. Once you finally, I know you can pop on the interweb and you can buy it, but sometimes for us thrifters, us secondhand find people, we love a good hunt. So when you find the piece, you're like, yeah, score. I do have two bigger Crocs that we set over here. There again, just some salvage legs that I don't even remember where they came from. I think it came from a pick that they didn't go with anything. And then we just finished this space off. I know you would think you'd put something right in the middle, but then that would distract from the Crocs. But I needed a wood accent that was kind of spacey like the window to match over here. So that's where this little church window type came in, and that's why I did it. So the fun of this space is, as I'm backing up, hopefully not going to hurt myself, as you sit from the window, I know we look like we're having an Amish wedding with all these chairs right now. As I sit all the way back here, I can sit on the couch in our living room. Even though our table will be going here, at least I can still see that hutch, because the table will be over somewhat. But I love the idea that I can see that hutch and I'm not trying to cram everything all into one space. So I hope that you're enjoying the Feels Like Home series of making a house into a home just by adding your own personal touch, your own colors, your own treasures that you found when you were out and about. It doesn't matter if you're a secondhand shopper or you like to shop the big box stores. It doesn't matter. You just make your home what makes you smile, your happy place. It doesn't have to be trendy. It doesn't have to be what somebody else has. Sharing ideas with you all is what I am all about. So I get ideas and inspirations from everything around me, and I love to share them with you all. And the biggest compliment I ever feel like that one can get is if somebody says, hey, I love that idea, I use that idea. Whether it goes into a DIY, a craft, to a paint color, into a decorating tip or idea. It's not stealing, it's a compliment, y'all. It is a huge compliment. So I just wanted to share that with you all. So thank you for watching today's video. And yep, there's still so much that we would like to do to make this house more a home. So there's more videos to come along with those DIYs. We have plenty of those coming up. So thanks for watching today's video. And as always, we love you all. We will see you next time, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.